Welcome to another episode of Bringing the Law to Your Doorstep series. Once again, I'm pleased with the presence of my wonderful colleague, Kojo Chumeziwafo, affectionately called Kojo. And today we'll be discussing the Innovator Founder Visa, previously known as the Innovator Visa. Yeah, it seems to be gaining popularity, of course, within the sphere of immigration law. And I've received a lot of messages to comprehensively discuss the subject of the Innovator Founder Visa. And none other than Kojo would be the best person to help me do justice to this particular topic. So what at all is the Innovator Visa? And like I always say, we're going to make it as practical as possible so that everyone will be able to understand exactly what we're going to discuss here. So the Innovator Founder Visa, previously known as the Innovator Visa, is the type of visa you apply for, whether you are an external applicant outside the UK or you're an internal applicant within the UK. If you have an entrepreneurial spirit and you have the ambition of setting up an innovative business, emphasis on innovative, because that is an indispensable ingredient of your application. Yes, so anyone at all who has the plan of setting up an innovative business within the United Kingdom, and if you're an external applicant looking at subsequently gaining permanent residence, if you like, or your indefinite leave to remain in the United Kingdom, this opportunity gives you that leeway, yes, to be able to enter the United Kingdom, set up an innovative business, and apply for your indefinite leave to remain after 3 years. So if you are looking at setting up a business which is innovative, then this visa can be the most ideal for you. So briefly, that is what the Innovator Visa entails. Setting up an innovative business. There are other elements we are going to discuss in this episode, but setting up an innovative business within the United Kingdom and potentially looking at extending your stay or probably settling down in the United Kingdom. So on this subject, once again, I think Kojo would also come in and give us insight on that.
Yeah. Thank you again, madam. And you've done well to give them something to think about. The Innovators Founder Visa, as you rightly said, replaced its predecessors, the Innovative Visa and the Startup Visa. And essentially is designed to attract entrepreneurs. Anyone who has an engineering or innovative idea, but add value to the UK. The idea shouldn't just be innovative, it must be scalable. It must be viable. Viable in the sense that it must be pragmatic, it must be feasible. You should have done your due diligence, understand the market that you're trying to get into, understand the risk involved, and have genuine guidelines or strategies, knowing how to ensure that there's also growth, right? So you must expand globally, right? And so in order to do it, it's not just enough to have the business plan on its own. You must have the funding. You must also apply to a governing body or an endorsing body. And the good thing is that the UK government has recommended approved bodies that are competent enough to endorse. And so obviously you have to apply for it. It's not free, you pay for it. Example of such bodies is the Innovators International, the GEP. These bodies are equipped. They run you through series of assessments to ascertain, to ensure that you understand what you're about, you understand the markets you're trying to get to. Because it's quite stringent. It's not, you're under a scope, as it were. It's not just enough to get the Innovators Founders Visa, but even though it's lasting for 3 years, they'll be monitoring you and ensuring that you have the right support and expertise. You have to be hands-on throughout the entire process to ensure the business thrives. Because ultimately it's about creating opportunities for people. There's a bigger goal in mind, and that's why it's also a pathway towards settlement, right, after the 3 years.
Even before, could you gather his thoughts on this one? I think he's done a lot of justice to it, going into the eligibility requirements. And it's clear under the law, the eligibility requirements are clear, that your business idea should, to begin with, should be new. So shouldn't be part of the normal trading practices of any business in existence. So it should be new and it should be organic in that sense. Secondly, of course, he also mentioned something very interesting, is how innovative that idea is. Yeah, so that business plan should also be innovative. It should be original. It should be an original idea, which cannot be replicated anywhere. So, I mean, even when you are submitting your business plan to the endorsing bodies, the 4 endorsing bodies, the UKES, the GEP, Innovator International Investors Limited, these are the approved bodies. I think there are a couple of other agencies, but these are the standard bodies that are responsible for endorsement. They will tell you that within the business plan, you need to be able to outline the part of your business, which is going to be IP protected. It should be clearly established in your business plan that there is that degree of originality, and your strategy to be able to protect that particular idea should also be a part of your business plan. Could you also mention something very good, which is the viability, of course, yes, that your business should be viable. We should have a potential for growth. It should have the potential for growth. And again, it should be scalable. It should have the capacity of generating professional opportunities domestically within the UK. It should also offer employment opportunities on the international scale as well. The document that you need in applying for the Innovator Founder Visa, of course, clearly business plan, of course. You'd also need your financial plan. You also need your CV, because you need to demonstrate that you have the expertise, the technical knowledge to be able to sustain the business. So when you go to the endorsement bodies, and like Oju said, this is not something that is meant for everyone. You need to prove that the business idea that you have has the capacity of being sustained by you. You have the skills, you have the capacity to sustain the business. So in as much as the Innovator Founder Visa is one of the finest ways to enter the UK, it comes with a lot of responsibilities. So it's incumbent on you as the applicant to ensure that all these details are supplied.
Exactly.
They are comprehensive enough and are supplied in order to support your visa application. Yeah, so I think that will cater for the eligibility requirement. You have to also know, in addition to that, that you need to be 18 years or above to be able to apply. And there is something also very important here. On the financial requirement, you need a certain amount of money. And that amount of money should have been in your bank account for 28 consecutive days. And that is £1,270 as it stands now. Immigration law is always oscillating. So at times the amount can be increased in the next second. But as it stands now, the amount you need in your bank account has to be £1,270. And could you also mention something very important, that you're allowed to bring your partner and your dependents. Now, when you're bringing your partner and your dependents, that comes with extra financial demands. Okay, so we have to do a little bit of math here. If you are coming as an individual, you need £1,270. But if you are bringing your dependent, your partner, for instance, you will need an extra £285 in addition to the £1,270, and that should have been in your bank account for 28 consecutive days. If you have children, for the first child, it would attract an extra £350, and subsequently, if you have other children, it would demand a £200 amount for all the remaining children. So let me make it practical. Let's assume I'm applying, from Ghana, from Kenya, from Nigeria, and I want to come in as an Innovator Founder Visa applicant, and I have 3 children. It means that in my bank account, aside the £1,270, I will need £285 extra to cater for my partner. And for the 3 children, I'll need £315 in addition to that to cater for the first child. And for the remaining 2 children, I'll need £400. That is £200 each for the remaining children. So you can do the math. You need to satisfy these financial requirements before you are eligible to apply for the Innovator Visa or the Innovator Founder Visa. If you've been in the United Kingdom for less than 1 year, you need to satisfy this financial requirement. But if your current immigration status, or if you enter the United Kingdom under any of the following circumstances, you will not be capable of switching from these types of visas to the Innovator Founder Visa. For instance, if you applied or entered the United Kingdom as a parent of a child student, or if you enter the United Kingdom on a visit visa, on a short-term visa, as a seasonal worker, if you're on immigration bail, or if you gain your leave to remain outside the normal immigration rules. A typical example would be on compassionate grounds, or if you are granted discretionary leave to remain, you will not be eligible to switch from these visas to the Innovator Founder Visa. So the subject is quite comprehensive, and we are trying as much as possible to hammer on the salient points in this particular video. So I would allow Kojun to also come in here if he has any other views. Yes, you can also add.
So I mean, again, he's done an amazing job clarifying and adding on the eligibility requirements, especially when it comes to the English language, also very crucial.
Very.
But as well as daunting as it seems, you shouldn't be allowed to attempt in any way. One of the benefits also is that it does come with certain tax incentives. So you have some support. There's also access to a plethora of funding opportunities. There are so many funding investment schemes that you can apply for. Since I belong to the King's Court Law, we've got assistant convening that's called Compliance 360 that helps people get funding. I would obviously recommend them to you that you can easily apply and get access to funding as well. So it's not that scary, to be honest. But it's worth thinking about. If you look at the opportunities that come with it, it's decent. It's worth investing into. So thank you again, Mama, for pushing to shed light on some of these things. And I hope you're all learning something. Not be shy. Feel free to run into the comment section and leave your thoughts. Immigration is not difficult, but it's important that you do find the right source, a trusted source where you can get on the right information.
So I'll thank my colleague Kojo. I mean, there are whole other things we didn't touch on. We don't want the video to be very lengthy, and that is why it's important to seek legal advice, so that we can guide you on providing a comprehensive business plan, the financial plan, your CV. We can take you through all of that to be able to make sure that you are well versed and prepared before you apply for this visa. So thank you very much for joining this episode of Bringing the Law to Your Doorstep. And I'd like to thank my wonderful women colleague here, Kojo Chubesi.
The pleasure was mine.
With this presence. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Yes, and if you have any other questions, if you would want us to touch on any subject, you can drop that in the comment section and we'll try and do justice to that for you. So thank you very much, and see you the next time. Bye. Cheers.